Pantheon presents
25, look, PPL is here. My favorite time of year. Blood, sweat, and tears dripping all over the gear. Yeah, NFL is back, so is PPL. Let the game get started. Time to see who will prevail. Yeah, the wait is over. Yeah, it's time for fantasy. It's time to draft to build a team that's capable to win the ring. As the GAFF attack back to back and try to get him free. He's chilling on the throne where everybody wants to be. Yeah, we all want the money. Everybody pay the fee. For me, I'm trying to win it just to brag about my team. Everybody wants to ring, but it ain't easy to achieve it. But believe it when I say it, feels so good when you receive it. Yeah, PPL is back, PPL the league is whack. You can say I'm talking smack, now I'm only speaking fact. Every week we got the live show, each year we got a nice flow. The others they can see us like they're playing with their eyes closed. PPL we ride, PPL we live, PPL we high, we the best you can't deny. Welcome to the live show, life be like the sideshow. You know and I know that PPL's a war zone, 100-yard battlefield, helmets as a battle shield. PPL we're back for real, time to draft and make a deal. Alpha versus Omega, battle with the fantasy, a game of intelligence, sacrifice and strategy.
We are in the second half of the season. Interconference warfare has wrapped. We are back in our respective conferences for the home stretch. PPL Live, Week 9, all ready to go. But before we jump into Week 9, let's look at those Week 8 scores. Starting with Patty's Twins, getting it done with a big win over the Argonauts behind Jonathan Taylor's 39 points. 120 to the Argonauts 78. Only for the boss. Does it again in style. Gets a big win in the prestige matchup of the week. 153 to the United Players 136. The Skulls get a huge win. Highest output of the season thus far. 145 to Killikev's 99. Squad underestimated. Leaves no doubt in a statement game. Sits atop the Alpha Conference. 181 to 127 over the GAFF. And I need about Trey Fitty. Finally got the monkey off his back. Get a big win over the Limping Gods. 129 to 68. Hey, man, it was a lopsided week in the PPL, man. What stood out to you?
Well, I mean, it was a lopsided week in the league. It was a lopsided week in the PPL. What surprised me, or not really surprised me, I really liked the grit that Only for the Boss showed.
Right.
Winning a close matchup and continuing to look like really top class this season.
No, definitely, man. Definitely. So let's get into more of what we saw in Week 8 with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's get into it, Ulysses. You already got us cooked up. What's your good, bad, and ugly for last week, man?
Yeah, I'm going to go with squad underestimated.
Okay.
Love what they did. I mean, clearly, when you leave no doubt, it's obvious. But when you really break down this matchup, I mean, this guy got a dud from Quentin Johnson. And again, outside of that and a very pedestrian 8.3 from Christian McCaffrey,
right?
Everybody else hit double digits. Saquon Barkley's looking like a man on a mission. The Tucker Craft play, though, really must have hurt the GAFF.
Master play.
I believe Tucker Craft had him last.
Right, he was a guy on the GAFF last year.
And so showing out and so that's my good. I mean, squad came in and just did what needed to be done.
No, man, definitely. Squad underestimated with 181 points, leading the PPL in scoring, tied for the best record in the league. It's good to be squad underestimated right now. Who's the bad?
The bad, we're gonna say in this matchup, man. I'm gonna say the GAFF. You know, anytime you put up 127, you expect to win this. But when you really, again, look at this. I mean, he got it in the way GAFF typically does: defense, kicker, head coach, and then he'll sprinkle in some stuff. But really, outside of Jalen Hurts, I mean, even DK Metcalf and CeeDee Lamb getting double digits. I mean, in those matchups, I would have expected more out of these guys, especially as they were playing from behind.
Yeah.
DK dropping TDs. But the big reason that I'm going to put bad is Cam Scadaboo's injury. This guy was really filling a niche for the GAFF, and frankly, he's going to put the GAFF in a tough position at the end of the season. This guy looks like he's keeper material, and so the GAF's going to have to make a decision on a guy having an injury.
Yeah, and a big-time injury, man. I mean, let's just be real. When a guy's, like, foot or leg is pointing the other direction, it's almost kind of hard to picture that guy ever coming back the same. So prayers up for our boy Cam Scadaboo, man. What's your ugly?
Ugly's going to be the Argonauts, man. They don't often get this, but, man, was it ugly. Thursday night left a lot to be desired. I mean, Kamani Vidal and Gaston, had to have the Argonauts pumped going into this matchup.
Right.
But Baker Mayfield's won. Falcons totally shit the bed. And Brandon Aubrey had a very pedestrian 6.
Right.
This guy, we know what he can do. He's probably going to get rules changed next season to where 60-pointers are 6-point field goals.
Right.
So, and especially in this matchup, against Patty's Twins, these are storied franchises, a house divided, and trust. He's going to hear about this loss. So the Argos really didn't do themselves any favors in a really strong alpha conference, too. They've got to start digging out.
Nah, man, agreed. It was very, very ugly for the Argonauts. They bottomed out, and it looks like that desperation got the better of them. They went and reacted to what happened this week. So, yeah, it had to be ugly for them to react in such a strong way. My good man is on the opposite spectrum of the Argonauts, and that's the top of the Alpha Conference. The Argonauts used to be synonymous with the top of the Alpha Conference, but no longer is that the case. I'm looking at squad underestimated, man. Not only are they putting up 181 points, but they're doing it with Christian McCaffrey at 8.3. They're doing it with Puka Nacua injured on a bye. They're doing it without Brock Bowers. They're doing it with Alvin Kamara on the bench. They're doing it playing musical chairs at quarterback. The Alpha Conference is being led in a strong way by squad underestimated, and it's looking like it's going to come down to a photo finish there, and that's because of how great Only for the Boss has also been in this conference. This conference has really taken the backseat to Omega over the last couple of years, but Alpha is really striking back hard, man. My bad is just honestly the mediocrity kind of creeping up. Here, a lot of failure to launch between teams. They just can't seem to get it done. I'm looking at the Argonauts. I'm looking at Appease the Gods. I'm looking at Killer Kev. These teams are sitting in that stagnant viewpoint. They're unable to get things going. Now, for the Argonauts and ATG, they're trying to figure it out by making trades. Their seasons aren't over. They're sitting in the middle of the pack. So that's why it's only bad. But things can get much worse if these teams don't figure out a way to turn around their scoring. And my ugly, man, was what we talked about at the beginning, and that was just the disparity in scores. A lot of blowouts, not a lot of synergy, not of parity. Teams really, really showed out, and some teams really, really stagnated. And it made for some ugly moments, not very competitive on last Sunday's slate. Even the Monday night game was a little bleh. But, hey, you're going to have some weeks like that. But it only makes you look forward to the next week even more and more. And as I always say, what's past is prologue. It's time to move up and onward. It's time to go into week 9. We go back into conference play. And we start with a big one in the Alpha Conference. 2 teams in opposite directions. Records inverse. Trey Fitty needs the win to keep themselves alive in Alpha. Squad Underestimated is pining for the Alpha Conference title. We got Squad Underestimated taking on I Need about Trey Fitty. All right, man, these 2 teams matched up earlier in the season. A victory for Squad Underestimated. Squad rolls into this matchup looking like world beaters. Looks like they got Puka Nacua back. Trey Fitty finally shows some scoring potential, but they lost Jaden Daniels, man. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I think that, both teams coming off of really clutch wins. But I think I Need about Trey Fitty's going to have some problems. Okay. And it starts with the quarterback position. I think J.J. McCarthy's a terrible play at Detroit. And again, last week he really benefited from the New York Jets in an unexpected performance. Now, when I'm looking at this, he's going heavy on the Ravens D and coach at Miami. I'm not so sure. We saw Miami last week take down the Falcons. I don't know, man. I wouldn't be trusting that as much. Squad, what's there to complain about? He's got all the studs playing. You mentioned it. Puka's back. I expect Quentin Johnson to have a bounce-back game at Tennessee. Mm-hmm. He's not even rolling a coach, which speaks to his confidence level, and I'm rolling with it. I've got him as my lock of the week. Okay. I think Squad goes 130 2 to I need about Trey Fitty's 105.
All right, man. Hey, last time you said Squad was the lock of the week. I debated you on it, but what did Squad go out and do for you? He left no doubt, man. I'm liking him in this matchup as well. Dak Prescott gets a great Monday night matchup at home against Arizona. Dak loves to show out in prime time at home. It's a great play for him. McCaffrey is due for a huge bounce back. I love what he's going to be able to do against that Giants defense. The one thing that I would caution about Squad is there will be no Saquon Barkley, and their replacement level with a J.K. Dobbins just won't be there. That wide receiver 2 spot is also something of concern. But, I mean, let's be real. Puka Nacua, he's going to go double tight end. Kraft showed that he's a guy that, regardless of position, needs to be in the lineup. Now, on Trey Fitty's side, looks like he does get Jaden Daniels back. He practiced fully today. He should be ready to rock and roll unless they pull a Lamar Jackson and decide that he's not going to play. But I don't see why he won't play. But I'm with you, man. I think there is a couple of little things that Trey Fitty may need to do. We talked about it, making trades, getting a little bit more active, maybe trying to figure something out. Maybe they're looking at that first pick again. They're already sitting at 2-6. I don't know. I think Squad underestimated makes it 2-7 for these guys. I got Squad underestimated getting this win, 128 to Trey Fitty's 102. And moving on to our next matchup, we go into Omega for the greatest blood feud in the Omega Conference's history. These two teams need it. These two teams want it, but only one is going to go forward. We got the GAFF attack. Sounds like they're starting to live on life support. Ulysses going up against Patty's twins, who are starting to thrive, man. What do you think of this one?
I love Patty's twins, man. Jonathan Taylor's looking like the league MVP to me.
Yeah.
She doesn't really got to change much. I mean, guys are showing out. I think that the Lions coach is a quality lock pick this week. The other side, I mean, Gaff's bringing it. I mean, I've been impressed with guys like Drake May, Kenneth Walker. I think needs to step up. I think the other CeeDee Lamb, man, this guy has been clutch for the GAFF, and he just hasn't been producing. And
at the same level.
And it's not for lack of Dak playing well. So it's looking like other guys are taking that spot in Dak's priority, and that's impacting the GAFF. But I don't really think it matters. I think that the Twins go out and leave no doubt this week.
Oh.
Anybody who played them is going to get it. And so it just happens to be the GAFF here. He's the one going to get served. I've got Patty's Twins going 155 to the GAFF attacks 128.
Damn, man. I'm almost tempted to kind of go the other way. This is a matchup that is projected to be very, very close. I'm with you, man. I mean, we saw the wrath of the Twins last week, but I mean, let's be real. The GAFF attack in a loss actually put up more than the Twins did put up last week. They put up 127. It just was overshadowed by the fact that they got curb stomped by Squad underestimated. I'm looking at Jahmyr Gibbs getting back into that lineup, man. A great projection of 18 points. Jahmyr has been one of the top players in the league. He's always exciting to watch, and he's a big play waiting to happen. And at any point, he can kind of put the GAFF over the top. Drake May's another guy. It looks like the GAFF is rolling with this guy. He's earning more and more confidence with this guy. He's keeping him in the lineup. Now, I know that Hurts is on a bye, so it makes sense to put Drake May in there. But Drake May is looking like he's got standalone value here, and the GAFF is taking advantage of that. But at the end of the day, the DK Metcalfs, the Wan'Dale Robinsons, I'm not even all that sure about Kenneth Walker II going up against Patty's twins, who look like at any moment they can leave no doubt. You're right about that. Amon-Ra St. Brown gets right back into that lineup, and I think it's going to make a huge difference for the Twins and get them over the hump. I got the Twins getting this one 134 to the GAF's 128. And moving on to our next matchup, we go back into the Alpha Conference, a pivotal matchup for these two teams. One of these teams trying to stay atop Alpha, the other one clawing to survive. We got Only for the Boss taking on the Argonauts. All right, man, Only for the Boss looked great this week in the prestige matchup of the week. They got by the United Players, the Destroyers, in a classic matchup. Patrick Mahomes bringing them back to finish off that game. Obviously, the Argonauts not happy with what's going on. They sent out the royal flush to appease the gods to try to right the ship, man. What do you think of this one?
I mean, I think that trade tells you everything you need to know about this matchup. I mean, the Argos are not happy with what's happening. They absolutely got roughed up in interconference play. I'm sure they're happy to come back into the Alpha Conference where they have historically been dominant.
Right.
I do, though, see some issues. Jackson Dart's cracking the lineup, and I think that he's going to actually see some displacement aggression from a San Francisco team that lost a game that I think they know got away from them last week.
Yeah.
You said it. I mean, with the changes coming, there's going to be some lineup changes happening here, and I think that altogether they're going to make the Argos more competitive. I mean, we're probably going to see Lamar. We're probably going to see Bijan. Other side, well, we're definitely going to see Bijan.
Yeah.
The other side, only for the boss. I mean, I damn near took them as my lock of the week for one reason. Patrick Mahomes is playing the Buffalo Bills. He owns this team. They're supposed to be competitive, but I mean, again, until they can show me that they can beat this guy, it doesn't matter if they're in KC, doesn't matter if they're in Buffalo, doesn't matter if it's regular season, doesn't matter if it's playoffs. Patrick Mahomes wins this game. Travis Kelce plays a factor. Chiefs coach. I mean, again, James Cook, I think that them being involved in this, Argo's going to have a lot to deal with in that Buffalo KC game coming at him. And the Bosses look as one of my favorite teams this season. And again, they got by the Argos in week 5, and I think they're coming for it with some revenge. I've got only for the Boss getting this one in a tight matchup. I've got this one going 131 to 129.
Man, had that trade not went down, I would be 100% with you. I think that the trade is probably going to end up being what keeps their season on life support. That's probably why they did the deal. Now, they won't have Nico Collins. They're going to have to figure out that wide receiver 2 spot. That's going to be where it's going to get interesting. But sliding in Lamar Jackson against that Miami defense and Bijan Robinson, who will also have his own form of displacement aggression coming into this week, is really going to help the Argonauts, who at times were a very, very dangerous scoring team. But only for the Boss has consistency, and only for the Boss has scoring where we know it's going to come from, man. Where I am a little concerned for them is with the Devontae Adams and Khalil Shakir plays, the receiver plays. With Puka back in the lineup, Devontae's not going to command the same target share. And as for as good as Shakir is, that ball goes all over the place in Buffalo. I think the Argonauts find a way to take advantage of that. I think they do what they did last time to the Boss. They get a big lead and find a way to survive the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Kansas City Chiefs storm. I got the Argonauts surviving this week and getting a big win, 132 to only for the Bosses 125. And moving on to our next matchup, we go on to our interconference matchup of the week. A big one here between both these teams. Everyone's a big one here, but hey, the United players are smarting after their prestige matchup loss, and Killer Kev, who we thought could really make some noise, is smarting after 2 straight losses in interconference warfare. We got the United players taking on Killer Kev. All right, man, I basically laid this one out. We got Daniel Jones against Jordan Love. These two teams kind of mirror each other in their own ways. The lovable, comedic relief of the PPL between these two. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I actually think this is going to be one of the more entertaining matchups of the week because, like you said, I think that they mirror each other. But I like the UP's matchups, and Killer Kev's obviously had depth issues at key positions. Started from the draft, and again was able to navigate early season. But again, losers are 2 straight. I feel like they need to do something to shake things up, and they just haven't yet. Daniel Jones and company have shown that they're for real going against a Pittsburgh team that's very beatable. Derrick Henry and company, Chicago playing Cincinnati, who just absolutely fell apart. The one thing that I think Killer Kev has to do as soon as possible, because UP's going to go Bills coach, which I think is a bad decision. I think they're going to end up losing. Yeah. On the other side, Killer Kev's got the Falcons coach against New England. The Falcons are probably going to lose in New England. So I think that he needs to make a switch there, get a tight end. He could make this competitive, but I still just think the UP has the edge. I think that this one lives up to the hype, though, and as far as 2 teams trying to make it. Yeah. And I think the UP goes 115, Killer Kev goes 110.
All right, man. I guess I'm going to go Alpha since you went Omega on this one, man, because this one is truly a coin flip. I really like Josh Jacobs and Devon Achan's matchups this week. I think that Devon Achan can get him off to a good start against Baltimore. He's the one thing in that Miami offense that you know works, and I think that he's going to be able to get some things done against that Baltimore defense that has not been as good as it has in past years. We know Jackson Smith and Jigba's going to get back into that lineup, and it's going to be a welcome addition because Keon Coleman and Rashad Bateman just aren't it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Jamison Williams and Brian Thomas Jr., how he decides his wide receiver positions, and they've got to figure out the tight end spot. I don't think Mark Andrews is going to be a guy that they can rely on. On the United player side, Rashee Rice is that dude. What a great guy to have to help build your receiving core around. Derrick Henry gets Lamar back, but I still like what Kev can do. I like his Packer love against the Carolina Panthers, and I think that that's going to help him get this win. I got Killer Kev getting this one 119 to the United players 115. And moving on to our prestige matchup of the week. A big one here in the Omega Conference. This matchup will have major implications about how the playoff race is going to unfold. We got Appease the Gods taking on the Skulls. All right, man. Last year, these two teams were the top two teams in the Omega Conference last year. They were in a dogfight for the conference title last year that went to Appease the Gods. This year, they both come in at 4-4. Appease the Gods started out with a sterling 3-0 start. The Skulls started out 0-3, but somehow they find themselves both here in the prestige matchup of the week in similar situations, man. What do you think of this one? ATG, new look ATG after the big trade, going up against the Skulls, who are trying to keep that old look from crap. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, ATG has pretty much been in free fall. I mean, they were able to eke out a win a few weeks back, but I mean, just really struggling to score across the board wherever they're going. I mean, they played the Bengals against that in that collapse against the Jets last week. But I think what the trade does for them is gives them some much needed options and frankly keepers. I mean, looking at that trade, there's 2 or 3 guys that ATG will end up keeping. And I think that's really, I think, where he's at. I think he's unsure of where Lamar's health was. But when you look at this matchup, I think that even still is not going to be enough for the Skulls. I mean, Josh Allen, don't love the matchup. Aaron Jones, don't love the matchup.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to love on the Skulls side. But again, ATG can't get out of their own way.
Right.
And so I think that this one just comes down to a war of attrition. And I think that we start to see some separation in Omega with this one.
Okay.
I've got the Skulls winning up this matchup 124 to Appease the Gods 108.
All right, man. Oh, man, this is going to be a tough one to call just because we don't know how exactly ATG is going to figure in with his new trade assets. But I do like a lot of what's coming ATG's way. I think that Oronde Gaston II is going to be a set and forget tight end down the stretch, and I think even starting now. I mean, he had back-to-back weeks of 10-plus targets and a touchdown. You look at Nico Collins. This is a guy that you know is a number 1 wide receiver. Ted McMillan obviously is a target hog and is going to be getting number 1 receiver looks probably the majority of his career. So it was a great long-term trade for ATG. They got younger. They did lose some star power, but I think that that's going to be something that they can find a way to bounce back from. Now, on the Skull side, they lack power at the running back position, and even after the Bijan Robinson trade, ATG still is better than them at that spot, and I think that matters. Now, what's going to be huge is the Jamar Chase situation. Jamar can take over the matchup for the Skulls at any time, and that's going to probably be what is able to keep him in the matchup. Now, as of now, ATG really doesn't have much to hang their hat on. Terry McLaurin is going to be out again, but they do get that influx of talent. Not sure if it's going to be enough as of yet, though. I think that the Skulls will find a way to pull it out behind Josh Allen and that Colts coach. I got the Skulls getting this one 114 to ATG's 108. Alrighty, PPLers, thanks for another great week of PPL Live. It is starting to warm and heat up. The home stretch is here. Everybody got to figure out where they get in so that they can fit in. Good luck. Have a good weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed. And may the odds be ever in your favor. See you guys in week 10.